What's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Miss J, with InStyle Atlanta and JuicyPop. And today, I am being joined by a very special guest. If you have been keeping up with Starz series BMF, you probably know her. She plays Lucille Flenory. And she is an awesome mother. She has also been on Broadway. Let's give it up for Miss Michole Briana White. Miss Michole, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm good.
I am so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
I have a lot of questions.
Uh-oh.
We need some answers.
Okay, girl.
Okay? We're going to get into a little bit of girl talk.
Yes, ma'am.
So before we even get started in talking about BMF, let's talk about your past experiences. We've seen you on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Tell us about that experience.
Oh, my gosh. That was like definitely in the early days when I first started out, actually. And that show was so great. I loved that character. Everybody on that set was lovely, including Will Smith, of course. I actually love playing way out kind of kooky characters like that still. And yeah, it was a great time. It was fun. It was funny. Like, it was still when people were actually had a live audience, so it was kind of like doing theater.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a fabulous time.
So speaking of doing theater, you were on
Yes.
Broadway.
Yes.
And your co-star, who also plays your husband on BMF,
Yes.
Russell Hornsby,
Yep.
he played on Broadway with you as well. Tell us how that full circle moment feels for it to all come back together now on BMF.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. It's just amazing. But so we met in Boston doing an August Wilson play, and we both had come on board. They had been doing the play for a while, and August Wilson was actually a part of almost every rehearsal and everything. They're writing and rewriting while we were rehearsing and everything. And anyway, Russell and I came on board. It was an amazing cast of these gentlemen, and I was the only woman in the show. And that's really, you know, I went to California Institute of the Arts, so I studied theater for 4 years. And but this is really where, and I'd done a lot of theater, but this is like, I think probably my biggest professional theater gig. And we did this show for about 2.5 years together. So we traveled, we went to Chicago, we went to Baltimore, we went to Rochester, and then we landed in New York for like 9 months. But so we have like a serious history together. And when we did Jitney, we actually played love interest there too. And he was Youngblood and I was Rena. And we were like, you know, fighting over stuff. And he was trying to buy me a house. And I thought he was like sneaking around and all of this stuff. And then once I found out he was trying to buy me a house, it was really sweet. But it was like, why you going to buy a house without me though?
Right.
And so anyway, so we had this really great, we've always had a really wonderful friendship and trust with each other and great chemistry like that. And we just respect each other's work. So anyway, then we did 2 Trains Running together as well at the Ebony Rep in Los Angeles, and we did it at the Kennedy Center as well.
Wow.
And we played love interest there too. And anyway, so we have this strong history. But so once we got to BMF, and you know, he was one of the biggest reasons I actually got BMF. He had already been cast, and one of our castmates from Jitney had just passed away. Anthony Chisholm, so I happened to call him to let him know that he had passed. And anyway, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, I heard you had a really great audition for BMF. And I was like, BMF.
You had to think about it for a second.
Right. I was like, I had auditioned for like so many things, like, and that I didn't get. And so I was like, okay, well, sure. Anyway, so he put a good word in for me, and we actually got to rehearsed together before we auditioned for the pilot, and and Tasha Smith was very supportive. But because of the two of them is really why I got BMF. So you know, coming to BMF was like Youngblood and Rena growing up, and they had a family. So anyway.
Okay, so let me be the first to tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
You and Russell do an amazing job
Thank you.
with playing Lucille and Charles on TV.
Thank you.
And I think the past history that you guys have had together, that has really helped, and it shows on TV.
Yes.
Because if I didn't know any better, I would have thought you guys were the real the real Lucille and Charles. Okay.
That's great.
So let me tell you. Okay, we've seen season 1.
Yes.
We've seen season 2, all
Yes,
the ups
you
and
did.
downs in the marriage.
Yeah, be a hot mess now,
Yes.
girl. Don't get me started.
Look, all of us have,
Right.
we know someone or we've experienced it ourselves of the marital infidelity, the ups and downs with marriages, because marriage is not easy.
No, it's not.
But you guys do an amazing job portraying that on TV. So let me back it up just a little bit before we even get into you and Charles on TV. Let's talk about you being a mother and how that helped you with playing Lucille.
A mother in real life?
Well, your relationship with your mother or just being around women.
Okay, because I'm not, I'm an auntie.
Okay.
That feels like a mom, actually. So, but my mom in real life, there's so many similarities to the real Miss Lucille. It's just crazy. So I'm from Chicago, which is right next door to Are you?
Yes.
Shut your face right now.
Yes.
Okay, girl.
I'm
what
from
part?
Evanston.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes.
Okay, my aunt lives in Evanston.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
What part of Chicago are you from?
I grew up on the south side.
Okay.
And mostly like 79th and Michigan.
Okay.
And the northwest side and the west side a little bit. But most of my childhood was outside.
Come on, Chi-Town.
Okay, girl. Now I forgot your original question. What did you say?
No, so I was just asking, how has your relationship with your mom helped carry over into you playing Lucille?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are so many similarities, like I was saying. So my mom and Miss Lucille, they look like sisters.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And me and Miss Lucille, we look like family. And when I first met her, the first time I met her, we were on FaceTime, and Randy Huggins, the show's creator, he had set up a FaceTime meeting for us, and we got on there, and it was like, oh my gosh, we both started bawling our eyes out, and it's just crazy. One, to be playing her, and I'm sure for her to see someone, living out
you
her
resemble
life.
her a lot as well.
It's crazy, but it's like such a deep connection. It's so familiar. Even when I first read the script, it was like, wow, I get this. I understand her, even though I didn't really know anything about BMF, by the way. But I just felt like I knew her, and I knew who she was, and just the family and Nicole. It's just like I just feel like we just all really fit. Like it's just it just feels so divinely put on my path, and. Yeah, it's my mom. So you were saying that. So my mom, there are just so many similarities, and one thing I feel like I've learned more about my mom by playing this, because it's all in the 80s and the 90s and growing up, and she's like so close to my mom's age. They're about the same age, like maybe a year apart or something like that.
Okay.
And I think during that time, women were a little more submissive.
Yes.
And I didn't always realize how my mom grew up, like, having just not being seen sometimes as a woman, and by her dad sometimes, and it's just a man's world, and she kind of struggled with that a lot. So I understand it better now, even though Miss Lucille is like very strong, but she's like a powerful woman who, especially in season 1, who's the matriarch of the family, who kind of led from behind,
right?
In a way, Yes. And now in season 3, she's kind of coming more into herself and going, hey, wait a minute, let me take a look at me right now.
Yes.
And anyway,
and put me first,
right?
Yes. Yeah, I need some respect, and she is definitely getting that respect this season. We saw last season Charles got caught up with some infidelity.
Girl,
Miss Lucille has now kicked him out of the bedroom.
Ooh,
He's staying in
Why was it with my
room.
friend though?
I know,
my neighbor.
Out of all people,
right?
She came and borrowed pots from you.
What the heck? And
how dare she?
Right, I'm confiding in her.
Yes,
girl.
And the whole time she's
like she's my best friend.
Yes. So, have you ever experienced any situations like that, whether it's yourself or a friend or a sister or anyone? I think we all can say that we have.
Infidelity?
Yes.
Ooh, girl.
And how did you handle it? What was your advice?
Ooh, okay, you gonna make me come out this jacket now. Hold on, girl. You know what? I'll tell you about one thing that I'm actually willing to share.